I'm recording with audio and stuff. Obviously, we're on starting the recording on wave 21, but um, shouldn't be too bad of a problem. And then, along with knowing my XP drops, I know that a 212 XP drop is going to kill all the blobs in one shot. 162, we hit all of our nibblers. So for a situation like this, obviously, I can one-tick flick this if I want from the bat tile and kill the bat and the ranger. But if I don't have to stress myself over like doing like tricky prayer flicks, I'm not going to. So instead, I'm gonna wait till this is going to attack with range, and I'll just duck behind this side of the pillar where everything attacks me with range. And I want to kill this bat because he drains my raw energy.
Fuck them bats.
Fuck those bats. Bats are your worst enemy. Fuck the bats. And we know that we've killed this blob to the south. That's going to make a nice little triangle for us. I don't need HP, so I'm just going to do one barrage and then get into my ranged gear. 162, I know everything's dead. I'm going to kill this bat, and then I'll show off some one-tick flicking against an actual NPC and a blob, instead of just two blobs. I'm going to pray against the blob and kill the bat real fast. Alrighty. So this is going to be our first kind of stack that we have, where it's going to be two kind of deadly NPCs behind the pillar at once. I'm going to utilize one-tick flicking to clear this wave. I'm going to kill the ranger first. It doesn't matter necessarily, like, the blob is going to see me first. The back NPC is always going to see you first. But I'm going to go out with range anyway, just because the ranger is going to see me, and I don't want to be hit a 48. As soon as I see the ranger attack me, I'm going to start prayer alternating. So I'm going to go start on range, and then just mage range, mage range, mage range until the ranger's dead. And then I'm going to continue prayer flicking, continue my one tick flick, even after the ranger's dead, until the blob does its next attack, and then go back behind the pillar. So I'm gonna, for this specific one, I'm just gonna go on the westernmost tile here, just so I can click on the range, and it's gonna drag me around here. So I'll go out praying range. I'm gonna click the range, and as soon as I see the attack, I'm gonna start my one tick alternate. When the ranger's dead, I'm gonna wait till the blob attacks me again, and then I'm gonna duck behind the pillar. So I'm gonna have him read me his range, pray mage, duck behind the pillar, completely safe. This here is the two tick flick that I'm doing right now. I'm gonna let this stack. I do want to kill that nibbler kind of soon, so I'm just gonna let it stack real fast, and then I'm gonna go out. So only the blobs are gonna see me when I chase this, so I'm just gonna go out praying range and just flick against the blobs, and then back behind the pillar. Alright, so no matter which way I kill this, whether I go out to the east or the west, eventually I'm going to have to one-tick flick these. I'm just more comfortable doing it out in the east, so I will pray against both blobs, and just kill the front one. After I clear these nibblers, obviously the ranger's going to sneak around and see me. She's going to do right now. Gotta be kidding me. And then this is just going to be the same solve that we did last wave. I'm a little bit low on HP, so I'm going to Phantom Barrage this. Set the Ruck down, Bloblets. Alrighty, so the melee is going to be safe spotted here. So I have no fear of going out, because I can just pray against the melee if he gets close to me.
Quinn, Maya asked in chat, is one tick prayer switching a vanilla solve or something you do if you have to?
Um, it could work by both ways, honestly. One tick flicking, it can always get you out of sticky situations. If like either a mage and a blob or a mage and a blob sees you at the same time, you can always start your one tick flick as long as you're on the tick with your big NPC. By that meaning, if a range and a blob see me, as long as I'm protecting range on the tick that it sees me, it'll always fall into cycle. So you can always start panicking. Like if you're ever panicking in the Inferno and want to start your one tick flick, just wait till your big NPC sees you and then start it, and the blob will always fall into cycle.
I want to clarify we're talking about one tick alternating here, not one tick flicking, correct?
Yeah, yes, yes,
Those
yes.
are different things.
Yeah, one tick alternating between mage and range. We only one tick flick to conserve prayer. Sorry, I don't play with my chat box open. If anyone types in like a question chat, if someone can just read it out to me, I would much love. Um, Rangers, very big sack of HP. We like barraging Rangers. They're very low mage defense, and they have a lot of HP to give. So forever low, you can always heal up on the Rangers.
Did you cover one ticking versus two tick alternating when there's two blobs alive?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, I did in the earlier waves. For any people that just joined, I can reiterate myself, kind of go through it a little bit, a little quickly. If you have two blobs that see you on different ticks, you can always start one tick alternating, and they will always fall into cycle. You'll be taking a 50-50 on the first auto attack that they will hit you off prey, but they will always fall into cycle. Two tick alternating, you have to be on a specific tick for them to for the damage to be mitigated. Um, Otherwise, you'll be anti-flicking and you'll be tanking one, if not both, of the blobs. I world hop with a restore on the ground. Feels bad.
Sad.
162. All the nibblers are dead. I'm just gonna kill the bat. So I can either kill a ranger here first and wait till the melee digs on the south side, and I'll safe spot it where I am right now. Or I could just go north and have the melee see me. I choose the first of the options, or I'm just going to go out south here. And if the melee digs, then I'll just go back to the middle of the pillar to our start tile, and I'll safe spot it from there. So melee digs, I come back to our start tile, and it's going to be safe spotted. If melee were to dig again, I'm pretty sure I showed this once before, but I'll wait till he digs again. I could either run to the south of the pillar right here and safe spot the melee and attack the range. I'm going to use a corner trap to where I'm going to go to this other green tile. This is called the Calvino tile. I'll explain this later in the waves. But I'm going to go to this tile and corner trap the melee while praying against the range. So I'm going to make sure I'm praying against ranger. And then I'm going to kill the melee while it's corner trapped. 137. I'm going to cast an extra barrage. Then I'm just going to duck behind the pillar here and kill this bat. Another cool thing that you can do, if I'm not confident that I can kill things on the south fast enough to drag the melee up, I will utilize this bat tile to corner trap them to corner trap the melee. So I'll go out praying range and just pray against the ranger until the melee digs, and I'll show you how to corner trap. We're just gonna go diagonally back one tile, and now he's corner trapped and we can attack the melee. And same thing, go out to the bat tile, praying against the range. We're just gonna kill the bat. Okay, next wave it's going to start to get a little bit more hairy, where we introduce another mob, and we'll reintroduce, rather. The blob's going to start coming back out again. 162, pray against the blob and the ranger. Then we duck around just praying melee. I did not pray against the melee, or against the ranger. I'm gonna start speeding up the beginning of my waves there. I tried to stay on the start tile for a little bit extra, just to fucking um, I don't know, display something. I'm a fucking goofball. Most of the time, you're just gonna be doing one barrage from this start tile and going right behind the pillar. It's the safest thing to do. In that case, if I did that, I wouldn't have taken the range hit. So same thing. You're just gonna do a one tick alternating flick here. This time we're just gonna kill the blob instead. It's gonna make the nice range triangle where only the ranger sees me anyway. So I'll go out praying range. I'm gonna step out to the bat tile, and then the ranger's gonna see me first tick that I'm out here. So it's gonna be very hard to click the blob, click out, and start my one tick alternating at the same time. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to let the ranger see me. I'm going to pray mage on the 3 ticks that it's not seeing me to pray against the blob. And then the next time the ranger attacks me, then I'm going to start my 1 tick flick. So I'll go out praying range, step to bat tile, attack blob, pray mage for the 3 ticks that it's not attacking, and then I'll start my 1 tick flick. Now I can just camp pray range. 216, I know they're all dead. And then I'm at 79 HP. I would feel a lot more comfortable if I started each wave at 99, so I'm just going to take some time and barrage off the ranger. It's free HP. I'm obviously not trying to break any world records here, even though I totally could. That's a joke. No, I can't. So I'll do one barrage and go right behind the pillar and see how we stack. Unfortunate. So this blob did not get corner trapped. I was not fast enough, so I'm just going to pray against the blob. And I'm going to kill the bat. And then in this situation, if you're aligned with the pillar here, all the way down towards Zuck, we can catch nibblers on the north pillar. This is very, very important. So I'm also thinking about what I'm going to do when this melee digs. I don't want to tank a melee and a blob at the same time. That's unnecessary HP. So I'm going to run to our start tile, and I'm just going to pray against the ranger. And I'm going to kill the melee just for my convenience here, so it's not putting me on another timer. Oops. Made a little uh-oh. We're just going to barrage up. thing. This is not going to be a clean triangle, so I'm going to try and my best to walk into this blob as I kill it. I pray mage when all of them can see me. There's nothing wrong with tanking the melee. Obviously, if it's just one NPC, I can pray flick against it. So I want my Nibbler off this pillar, so just going to be a rather fast solve. I'm just going to go out to the bat tile, kill the range, kill the bats, while one tick flicking the blob when it sees me. Now I'm just going to pray against the blob normally and kill the bats. If it's just one Nibbler on your pillar, don't be super stressed about it. But if it's any more than one, yeah, they kind of want to put a pretty fast solve going and get them off, especially in the early waves. All right, I'm gonna let this stack. I'm gonna kill this melee once it wants to read me on range, because I don't want a timer on my solve. It's okay to use rigor to kill something fast.
Ranger asked in chat, would you consider using rigor to speed it up if it was more than one?
More than what? What? I'm sorry.
Just go ahead and unmute and ask, man.
Blobs give me a lot of HP, so I'm going to chase these nibblers. I'm not worried about taking damage right now. Yeah, feel free to unmute and ask. It's okay. Sorry, I play with my chat box closed.
Oh, he said, would you consider using rigor to speed up a solve if there was more than one nibbler munching on your pillar?
Yes, yeah, especially in the early waves. There's nothing wrong with like just blasting through an NPC to get and clear your pillar. Your pillar HP is another resource that you need to save until the end. Basically, our main objective with our pillars is to protect them super early. So in the late waves, we can let nibblers munch on them while we're doing our solves. So we have more time in the late waves.
What's your tipping point where you start to, or where you stop chasing nibblers, I suppose?
Um, I do it at around 50 when it's mage range. But I would probably recommend stop chasing nibblers super hard at like 45.
Yeah, I usually stop at the mage double blob.
I want the nice clean triangle, even though I'm max HP, so we kill it from the south. And then, so the waves, like the next one, where it's one big NPC and two smaller ones. Ideally, I want to solve where either only the ranger can see me or only the meleeers can. So 162, it's dead. I'm just gonna let this melee walk into me, and I'm just gonna pray against it and kill it. Obviously, I can go out to this bat tile and start killing the ranger if I really wanted to, then do my little diagonal to corner trap the melee. But I'm just going to let the melee dig to me, because it can. There's nothing wrong with just taking extra time out. Like, it's no one's gonna make fun of you if you have a 2-hour first cape, especially when they're sitting there with a 45-minute fire cape. It's the accomplishment that you get. Like, it doesn't matter how long it takes. It's just proving more to yourself that you can do it. Obviously, the cape is nice; it gives you max hits, but like, just getting through the hard content and knowing that you can do it is just huge. Like, don't worry about any of the timers. So obviously
That
when
had me cracking up. That was funny, Quinn.
I mean, I don't know. There's just don't worry about what other people think, Leon. Like, you do you. Get your cape. Do your own accomplishment. So obviously we have Double Ranger coming next. Then we'll have six Nibblers, and then we get shown the last NPC in the Inferno before Jazz and Zuck, which is gonna be the Major. Um, I will go over the major respawning when we actually get there, but like I said before to others that weren't in here when I was in the early waves explaining the NPCs, when major has line of sight on you, it has a chance to respawn dead NPCs. So basically all it means is our kill priority is going to change a little bit. Ideally we want to knock the major out as soon as possible so it doesn't have the chance to respawn anything. Um, we just basically don't want to be using extra resources to kill something we've already killed before. If you're comfortable with one tick flicking with either your regular prayer book or your quick prayers, I do highly recommend using it on the major, especially on the early waves. If not, it's okay to lazy flick them. I personally don't like lazy flicking majors, so I'll be one tick flicking most of them. And then towards the later waves, you'll see me kind of just like give up on one tick flicking, and I'll just start lazy flicking rigor. Oh, and then about other supply usage in the Inferno. Obviously, I have a divine range spot and two regular bastions. Um, that's just what I'm comfortable with. With for your first cape, I would honestly only come in here with either one range pot or max two. Um, and then most people bring around 7 or 8 brews into the Inferno for their first cape. I'm pretty comfortable with taking damage in here, so I'm comfortable with 5. It lets me have extra restore. Basically, I can chill a little earlier with my prayer flicks and just kind of AFK the rest. Um, the biggest like the most common learner mistake I see in the Inferno is their fear to use their supplies. You don't need 8 brews to kill Zuck. You need 1 brew to kill Zuck. The other 7 brews are for getting through the waves. It's very, very important. Don't die with supplies. Like, use your supplies, and if you die because you run out, that's going to be a lot better of a feeling than dying at 58 with all the brews in the world, you know? So don't fear using your supplies. Like, click yellow if you're in if you're in a sticky situation. And then for range pots, if you only bring in one range pot, don't don't use a range pot until you get to Jads. If you bring two in, you can take your first sip at wave 55 to be boosted. Having extra defense through the late waves is kind of helpful. Okay, and if it's both rangers, I'm just gonna stand in the middle and make sure my nibblers are dead. And then I'm going to reset my quick prayers to mage and rigor now. From wave 35 and on, 35 is the first mage spawn. From wave 35 and on, there is not a single wave that you are not starting with pre-mage on. Every single wave from here on out is starting with pre-mage. There's no reason to be tanking a 70 off the first attack of the wave. And if it's just a mage, I'm just going to stand out in the middle and make sure I clear my nibblers. 162, I know it's dead.
Maya's asking if the mobs can spawn in any configuration.
That is a very good question. Let me clear this mage, and I will go over the spawn points. As you can see, even on task with best in slot gear, the major can take fucking 5 years to kill. Clear my nibblers. Make sure the wave stacks. Okay. So wave spawns. I don't want to be talking out of my ass here, but I think there's let's see, one, two, three.
I think there's 9
Yeah,
spawn.
I think there's 9 possible spawns for NPCs to spawn, and every single inferno it is 100% completely random. So
Can you get 2 monsters spawning on the same spot like you can in the fight caves?
no, but sort of at the same time. By sort of I mean there's 2 north spawns. You can have 2 NPCs spawn north, but they cannot spawn on the same tile now.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, unlike the fight caves where I think there's like 13 to 16 like specific rotations, every single time you go into the inferno, your spawns are gonna be completely random. So it's gonna be like a basically a new experience every time. Um, I always say that the Inferno is the same 4 solves 1,000 different ways. Basically, all I mean by that is you're always going to do some sort of configuration of prayer alternation or safe spotting. Just the ways that the NPCs are safe spotted or alternated, those can be done in 1,000 different ways. But I will be using either off ticks or one tick flicking or two tick flicking 1,000 different times. Um, so I'm going to give an example of just basically the mage mechanics here of how it can respawn NPCs. I'm going to kill the bat first. Um, Ideally, obviously, you want to prioritize the mage if you can. If you're safe to kill the mage by itself, go for it. That's like the better thing to do, so it doesn't respawn anything. Um, that being said, obviously, if there was a mage that's or a ranger that spawned north, like right now, I'm 100% okay to deal with that first and let it respawn. I'm just gonna drag the bat down, so I'll step out praying range and then step right back. So this is just another example of how this NPC is corner trapped right now. If I step north or what's this direction west, north or west, it's gonna become unsafe spot and it's gonna see me right away. Very helpful tip about the Inferno is if an NPC can see you, you can attack it. So basically, if I had the bat corner trapped right here and I click to attack it, it's gonna drag me out and I'm gonna take a 70 from the mage. Alright, so I'm just going to basically go AFK and wait for this fucking major to respawn a bat.
Why aren't you hiding behind the pillar while you wait for it to respawn?
The mage needs to have line of sight to respawn an NPC.
Because it replaces its attack cycle.
Yes, it'll skip 2 attack cycles. It'll be an 8 tick, basically attack when it heals an NPC, and then it'll fall back onto its original attack pattern. Um,
So
Basically
if you're one
by
tick alternating and it respawns something, it's on the same tick when it's done
yeah,
respawning?
yeah. So if there was a blob behind this, and I was one tick flicking the mage and the blob correctly, and the mage decided I'm gonna respawn something, I just keep one tick flicking as if the mage was still attacking me. It'll fall back onto the same cycle. But you see how the light flickers under the mage? As soon as that happens, the damage is calculated. So I need to have my prayer up before its light flickers. And of course, when I want it to respawn something, it doesn't. There you go. So it curls up into a little ball, looks towards the center, and an NPC gets respawned. The mage can only respawn an NPC once each wave. So basically, this bat cannot be respawned again, and it respawns with half HP. So now I'm just gonna kill the mage.
What happens when a blob respawns? Do the bloblets have half HP as well?
Oh, that's a good point. So if it respawns a blob, the blob itself is going to have half HP. The bloblets have 100% HP. Also with a
Meat
blob,
sacks?
what?
I said meat sacks.
Meat sacks, yeah. Also with the blobs, if you can help popping a blob before you kill a mage, do that because it can respawn a blob while its original bloblets are still alive.
And Quinn or anyone else who's sticking around for the whole run, Can y'all give me a ping when the speedrun portion begins? I'm really interested in that one.
Yeah, man. If you want to see me dive on wave 15, I'll definitely fucking ping you. That was that was grim. Yeah, I'll
Yeah, that's grim.
let me just write that down. DM grim for speed. Yeah, I got you, dude.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, this first cape, obviously, I'm explaining very in depth. So like this first cape is going to be a lot slower than the second
Yeah,
one, like
yeah.
the Iron Man gear. That one will be a little bit more swift, more close to like an hour and a half.
How many of these are you doing today?
I mean,
Three?
I have three on task.
Sheesh. So, basic explanation, iron setup, and then speed one?
Yeah.
Very cool. How good is Quinn? Deserves a round of applause right now, for real.
No, I don't. I haven't done the cape yet.
The intention's there.
It's not over until the fat lady sings.
Yeah. So I want to kill this mage before I chase that nibbler. So I'm gonna go to the
False
bat tile and
asks,
safe spot the bat and kill the mage.
Quinn?
False asks, would you ever use mage to respawn things just to suck life in prayer?
100% you do sometimes. If you're down bad, fucking send it. Yeah.
Give
Um.
meat stacks.
But when I do that, oh shit, humble. When I do that, I try and get the mage down to 1 HP, so I can let it respawn and instantly kill it. Don't hurt me. Thank you.
When I've been really down bad, I've legitimately blood rods the major, waiting for it to respawn a ranger. It's happened to me a couple of times.
If you guys have more questions and you're like uncomfortable unmuting or don't want to interrupt, you can tag me in looking for mentor, and I will unmute and interrupt the stream for you.
Hmm? Yeah.
Or you can just unmute and ask questions. Like Quinn is super comfortable, you're not gonna kill him.
Yeah. Even if I do, like, I don't really care. Um, so I don't have range on the mage right now, so I want to run north and drag him in, but I don't want the blob to respawn, so I'm just gonna pray flick against the blob as the major comes in into sight. So we pray against the blob, pray mage again against the blob, and now the major is in sight.
How does your T-bow's attack range compare to the mage's?
It's 10 and 10, right? I think so.
No, mages and rangers it's a 15 tile range.
Oh.
That was I'm not trying to trip you up.
What he said. Fuck me. Humble. Sorry, it's hard to fucking think about things. I'm gonna take flick.
How important is it to kill the mage first on someone's first cape?
um, it's not as important as it is on like a speedier run. But it can put a hinder on your supplies. If you're killing each wave twice, you're gonna use twice the amount of restore, you know? So like any situation where you can safely kill the mage first, I would highly recommend doing it.
And safely here is going to depend on the that
What you're
person's
comfortable with.
comfort. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I was, like you should be pretty comfortable like just praying mage and flicking against the blob and coming back out. There will be other situations where I would be comfortable off taking an entire wave to kill a mage, but other people
Mhm.
may not.
So Prod is asking, what are your thoughts on Eldritch versus Kodai versus SGS?
Yes. I went over this a little bit before I first started. I have kind of a bad opinion about the Eldritch. I personally don't like it. That being said, I've never used it in the Inferno. At the end of the day, if it's gonna help you get your first cape, don't listen to my opinion about it. Like, do whatever you can to get your first cape. Like, if you're in Justy or whatever with Eldritch, like if that allows you to be more comfortable in here, 100% send it. I just don't like using the Eldritch for first capes, because you don't have a lot of replayability in completing the Inferno. Like you if you just bash your head against the wall and get very, very comfortable in the waves doing off ticks, prayer flicks, prayer alternations, and solving waves, it'll help you a lot more long term for repeat KCs. But if you're just here for your one cape, don't really care about anything else, 100% use whatever you gotta do to get your cape. There's no shame in using it, basically. Like
Go ahead, Maya.
I won't shame you for using something that's gonna help you get your cape legit.
Go ahead, Maya.
Ethan asks, does that blue tile, one north of the pillar line, can mage see you if you go far back enough? If it is right behind the pillar.
He's talking about the nibbler spot on the east of
This one?
North Pillar. No,
The
east of North Pillar.
Two more over. The blue tile.
Oh, this one?
Not that one. The other one.
Oh, this.
By the
Yeah.
top. Oh,
This
So-
no, this will, as long as he doesn't spawn, as long as nothing spawns over to the east side here, no, this will, and I'm in line with the pillar, this will be completely safe.
Got it.
The same cannot be said about this tile though. Like your nibbler tile, if something spawns over here to the southwest and I go to this tile too soon, something over here can see me and attack me. So if I want to catch my nibblers on north pillar, I will stand here until the wave stacks behind my north pillar, and then I will go here and catch my nibblers. Obviously, you can pray against whatever's over here as you go here, but better safe than sorry. Whatever you're comfortable with.
sorry about the timing.
That's fine. I need to take a sip of water real fast. Um, the mage is a very intimidating NPC. Obviously, with a max at a 70. But don't try not to overcomplicate in your mind these solves. Like, don't be afraid to one tick flick a mage and a blob for fear of getting hit a 70. It's the same thing you were doing as the ranges. So if you're able to do against the ranges, you're able to do against the mages. Don't overcomplicate it in your mind. You're more than good enough and capable. I don't have this tile marked. I don't think I went over yet. This is gonna be like your fucking magical tile. This corner tile. It's gonna come into play a lot more in the progressing later waves, like 50 plus. Um, but basically, I don't know if you can see like how the NPCs are gonna be shifting over. Well, this doesn't really work right now, but like you see how the back kind of like shifted over and stuff. It your pillar stack is gonna depend on which one of these three tiles that you go behind. Basically, there will be some situations where if I'm on this tile, so, like half the NPCs are going to be stuck behind the pillar, and and like one or two of them may drag down and be corner trapped here. Um, so this tile is just very important because it gives you the safest, most spread out stack. Also, if you're fast enough to get back here on the wave spawn, it'll instantly corner trap anything that spawns right here. This is going to be a very big big thing. The 50 plus waves when I am playing super safe and playing from the Calvino tile.
Which tile from the NBC are they using to target you?
They're southwest.
Okay, so we want to be over here because that drags their southwest tile the
Yeah.
furthest to the pillar, right?
Yeah. This southwest tile that I have highlighted, this is the NPC's brain. They want this tile to be in line with me to see me. So if I'm over here, their southwest tile can come around, can potentially come around the pillar to see me. So when I kill this bat, I'm gonna go to this corner tile and it's gonna corner trap the blob. Blob won't be able to come down. I can stand here as long as I like. Obviously, in this situation, I could step down and kill the blob. If that's easier and more and like you're more comfortable with that, please do that. It's okay if it respawns. That we know how to deal with the one tick alternating flick. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna step out praying range, so it reads me on range and it fires me on mage, and then I'm just gonna duck around the pillar here so I can kill the mage. So it reads me on range, pray mage, go around the pillar. I don't mind that it respawned it. It's safe spotted. Not going to be a clean triangle. I'm going to make sure that I walk into it as it dies. Alright, double blob waves are going to be pretty scary, but we're just going to get behind our pillar and see how it stacks. So in this situation, I'm just going to flicker these blobs, kill one of them, kill the niblets.
Why did you only send one blood barrage there?
I wanted to get behind the pillar as fast as possible because this is a dangerous wave.
I meant on the bloblets.
Oh,
Right, like you didn't sit there and blood barrage over and over until they were dead. You sent one barrage and then piped them down.
right, because like if I'm sitting there doing a 5-tick barrage to heal nothing, they're just going to be sitting there damaging me instead. I'm going to be losing more HP than I'm gaining. So I choose to get my higher defense gear on, which is my ranged gear, also more DPS, and kill them as fast as possible. Because I know that I have plenty of healing coming from this blob. And then I clear my pillar when I'm safe.
What was the rationale for sending a blood barrage at the nibblers at the start of the wave instead of an ice barrage?
That was an accident. I misclicked.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
None of these questions are supposed to trip you up. It's just like there's mechanics that pop into my head, and I figure I can get you to talk about it. That's all.
Yeah, no, that was just a misclick, so I auto casted on him instead. Obviously, like they spawn in a 3x3. If they don't spawn under me, like where my mouse is pointing, sometimes yeah, I click the ground and miss my ice barrage. And then in these waves where I'm pretty safe, it's okay to send another barrage just to get some extra damage because, like I said, I don't want 3 nibblers on my pillar. But come the later waves, yeah, you're going to be doing either one barrage or one miss barrage, and then you're going right behind your pillar. But yeah, using Blood Barrage at the start of the wave is totally fine as well. There will be a couple situations, especially when I do my speed run, there's going to be a lot of waves where I start with a Blood Barrage over an Ice Barrage. I would only kind of consider that when I'm under 70 HP at the start of a wave, though. Anything over that, like I'm fine, just use an Ice Barrage, give you some extra time to clear the wave before you protect your pillars. Alright, we get a couple cooldown waves, no more blobs, now we just have to deal with some melees. This is going to be the start of when kill priority really takes into account here. So here, obviously, yes, you can off-tick the mage and the melee and kill the melee first. I'm going to find it a safer option to just deal with the melee now and chance a respawn. Because I want to clear this melee and drag this mage closer so I can kill it behind my safe tile of the pillar in case it does respawn any NPCs where I can still safe spot things. So if I respawn the melee now like it did, it's totally fine. I'll just go back around, pray melee, and now I'm still only dealing with one NPC seeing me at a time.
Did you explain Melee's dig timers already?
Yeah. If anyone wasn't in here as when I explained it the first time, I'll give another brief explanation on it. So melees have a on spawn. They have a 30-second timer. If they don't attack you, they are going to dig to your position in 30 seconds. That's going to kind of put a very big timer on some of your solves. You have to know what you basically have to form a plan of what you're going to do 30 seconds before you do it, right? Like you don't want a situation where I'm killing the mage and the melee digs to me and I'm out of solves. Like I don't know what to do because then I'm just tanking damage for no reason. So being able to think a little bit ahead and plan what you're gonna do when the melee digs to you, it's gonna be very very helpful. It's gonna make you a lot more successful in your attempts.
After the melee digs, how long do you have to react before it can hit you again?
8 ticks. 8 ticks if it pushes right out and goes up against you. There will be some times where it's on top of you and wiggles around. If that's longer than 8 ticks, as soon as it gets out from over you, it's going to attack you right away.
So I thought the melee dig timer was like 50 ticks at the beginning of the raid, which is 30 seconds, but doesn't it need to be in combat with you at the end of that first set of 50 ticks? Otherwise, it digs regardless? Or did I misunderstand that mechanic?
Yeah, it's not where I said where it needs to deal damage to you. Like it needs to attack you to reset its timer.
I thought it didn't. I thought it didn't reset its timer at all. I thought it was always going to dig at 50 ticks if it wasn't in combat with you, and then after that, it starts its timer. I could be wrong. I can double check later. If any of the other like GMs in chat know the answer to that, I'm curious to know.
I might be miscommunicating it, but I think we're saying the same thing, just different. Unless I'm misunderstanding you.
We can clear it up later, man.
I think he's saying there's a 50 tick timer, and if it hits you, it pauses it rather than resetting it. But as far as I know, it resets it.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain that it completely resets it.
The only thing about that though, I've had runs like today. I had a double melee wave, and one of them was hitting me, and then I started safe spotting it, and then both dug at the same time, and I don't know why that happens.
On that note, I also had a double melee wave in one of my attempts where they dug at the same time, and then I started hitting one of them and didn't kill them fast enough before they dug, except they dug in different points without either attacking me. So maybe there's something more to the dig mechanic than a set timer.
Yeah, cause similarly on that same wave, after they both dug at the same time, they dug at different times afterwards without hitting me.
Interesting. I'll have to look into that. I don't want to give like any definitive answer on that then, because I'm honestly not 100% sure about that. I don't want to
Yeah,
be
I mean, what you've
I don't want to be misinforming anyone.
Yeah, what you said is what I've heard everybody else say, just that like there's a 50 tick about 30-second timer and tanking a hit resets it. But then I've just seen some weird things happen where
Yeah, that was what
I
my
don't
knowledge was
understand
on
it.
it, was that it just resets its timer. But like I said, I could be entirely wrong. I don't want to be misinforming anyone. I can research it and
Hang on,
ask more.
I have it open on the CA Discord right now from Nick Ince. Melee dig 50 tick after wave start. Thereafter, melees dig after 40 to 60 ticks randomly. The melee cannot dig if they have attacked a player in the last 15 ticks. So you need to tank a hit between 22 and 29 seconds to guarantee that the first dig is between 54 to 56 seconds. If you tank a hit prior to 22 seconds, the melee will dig 50 ticks into the wave regardless. So to prevent more digs, you consistently tank hits within 15 ticks, starting around 50 seconds into the wave. So I was right. It digs at 50 ticks if it hasn't hit you in the last 15 seconds.
That's interesting. I'm sorry if I misinformed anyone. I wasn't aware of that. I just knew.
I just remembered reading this in the CA Discord about the no dig inferno task, so that was why I wanted to ask because it wasn't 100% clear to me either.
Yeah, that's my fault. Then my understanding was just let it hit you, no dig.
Fuck.
I didn't want to be continued drained by the bat, so I ducked behind the pillar.
Fuck them bats.
Yeah, it didn't drain me, but didn't want to. It's okay, I know I'm completely safe on the melee digs. I'll just sidestep one corner tile and it'll be corner trapped again. Alright, following the next wave, wave 45 is going to start some pretty dangerous waves. It's going to be mage, blob, melee. We're just going to make sure that we're getting behind the pillar as fast as possible to see our wave stack. I'm going to opt in fucking... honestly, I'm just going to clear this entire wave. Holy shit, this thing's corner trap, no way. I don't want to be on a dig timer while killing the mage, so instead I'm just going to clear the wave and run the risk of killing the wave twice. Because I know even if it respawns stuff while I'm on the north side of the pillar, I'm completely safe to the respawns, and then I still have my safe tile to deal with anything if it digs or whatever. If it respawns a bat, I'll just go one tile north to the bat tile, and I'll be safe from them.
Go.
Do the respawns from the mage, are they in a random location or like where the initial monster spawned or what?
It's kind of in a general area. There's a couple like different directions it can spawn and fuck off to. But no, it's not in. To my knowledge, it's not entirely set. It generally just respawns somewhere over here in the middle. And then I don't know if it's some funky. I'm just gonna let the melee dig to me, by the way. And then I'm just gonna barrage off it because I'm a little bit low on HP. I don't know if there's some like funky pathing mechanics or whatever with NPCs that just respawned. Because sometimes they can like get stuck on other NPCs.
Ranger, what was that about Inferno stats? Did he type something in chat?
He's asking about the wave plugin.
What's the wave plugin?
Oh, Quinn, can you explain the plugins?
Yeah, so this is just the regular Fight Cave wave plugin, the one that people use in the Fight Caves. It also works in the Inferno, where it shows their common name. Obviously, like it can be their Gel Nib, Gel Ek, or whatever, but like who the fuck calls that? It's Blob Melee Mage. But yeah, this one it just works for both of them. Other plugins that I use, I use the Inferno Stats plugin. It's this plugin right here where it shows me a breakdown of my waves. So it's seeing, obviously I'm currently on wave 45, so the idle ticks and time's ticking up. but I can look at my wave 44. It shows me the spawn of it, the time taken, damage taken, prayer drain, and all of its stuff. So this is really helpful for when you're learning your cape. If a wave kills you, you can look back on it on the spawn and go over, like what could I do better? How could I solve this better and stuff like that. It also gives me this current wave and predicted time is the Inferno stats plugin. And then I use Entity Hider to hide dead NPCs, but that's just personal preference on that one. Sorry, I need to take a sip of water again. $216, I know they're dead. Unfortunate. It's okay. I know that the melee is going to have a dig timer on me, so I'm just going to make myself safe on the north side of the pillar and be ready for him to dig. I'm also going to take this time to pre-mage, and I'm going to go chase my nibbler and get him off the pillar. This
Can you talk about the line of sight of a mob where the melee was there? Like, let's say that was a blob. Would that maneuver have been safe still?
Like if a blob spawned north over here?
So if you had the mage where it was, and then a blob in the position where the melee was, up against the pillar, but further east, and you ran out to send that barrage, would the blob be able to see you?
No, that would still be safe. As long as I don't go, I believe it's gonna be like north of the middle line to a certain extent over. The blob would not have been able to see me if it was there.
Do you guys know if line of sight calculates from southwest tile or is it center tile?
I'm not sure. Is there a line of sight plugin?
There's not a line of sight plugin. There was on client. There's a line of sight tool for Inferno though. I could just check it later.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm not trying to trip you up. These are things that I don't know.
These are good questions. Just questions that I really haven't thought about. Mostly I've learned like what's safe and what's not safe mostly from trial and error. Like I've died a bunch of times in Inferno, so I know what I can and can't get away with. Also, the Inferno speedrunning Discord, even if you're not doing speedrunnings, is a very great and helpful guide, not guide, very good helpful resource for any questions you may have. Also, the We Do Raids Discord has a bunch of different wave solves for specific stacks. So if you're unfamiliar with a stack that you have, say this is like, if this was a Mage Blob range or something like that, and you don't know the solve off the top of your head, We Do Raids has most like odd stacks in there with solves to do. I've only ever had one solve where I needed to where I didn't know how to do it. It was mage range, blob range, and I needed to do some like funky Z step thing, which I looked in the Weeder raids and they taught me how to do. It's very helpful. This wave I killed everything to make the north safe, because I was kind of low HP, so like I actually wouldn't mind if it respawns anything. I'm not scared of a melee respawning, because I know that I can just sidestep and corner trap it when it digs. A bat, I don't want it to drain my stats, so I'm going to pray range against it and just let it come to me. The melee is going to dig, but I'm just going to let it dig now.
Ranger pulled up that line of sight tool. It looks like it's calculating from the southwest tile.
Okay. Alright, we know how to do this. We practice it with the Rangers. I'm gonna go out praying mage and just start my one tick flick whenever I'm comfortable. I'm gonna do it off of the mage's attack cycle though. I'm gonna make sure that I'm praying against the mage correctly first and then start my one tick flick. Late waves, especially with mages, I wasn't doing it more so with the range because the blowpipe just kind of shreds it. But camp rigor, when you're using any of these like one tick flicks, you end up saving more prayer than if you in the long run if you use rigor on it. Let it read me as mage, pray range, go back behind the pillar.
Why was it important to go behind the pillar there?
So it's if it's right up against the pillar, it gets a nice little triangle again. If it was in like bumfuck nowhere over here, they would all file in and try and kill me. Okay, this is gonna be one of the waves where I try and out DPS. That's probably not the safest option. Honestly, I'm just gonna let the mage attack me and I'm gonna kill melee. I on task, I would probably be able to out DPS this major and kill it before the melee digs. But if you're off task, most of the time that's not gonna be the case. So like if it's just safer to just kill the melee, just go ahead and do that. Because if it respawns, it's just gonna be safe spotted again no matter what, and we can just kill it again.
What would you have done there if the melee had dug with that wave configuration?
With this specific one,
Yeah.
I probably would have gone to the south side here. And just one tick flicked and either killed the blob or if the melee or if the mage, if I dragged the mage over, I would have killed the mage. But I would have just safe spotted to the south.
Super, super important to always be thinking during these waves, what am I going to do when that melee digs?
And then I'm also always praying against the mage longer than I think that it's dead. Because there will be a couple times, it had to happen to the ranger, where it attacked me and damaged me after I thought I was dead. So I'm always making sure that the major is completely dead and not attacking anymore before I drop my prayers against it. Sorry, just give me a couple moments here. In my downtime when I'm fumbling with my shit IRL, are there any other like questions, comments, or concerns, or like anything you guys are unclear of so far that I'm doing?
Look at the picture I just posted in Looking for Mentor. That's from the line of sight tool. That's so fucking weird.
I don't like that. I wonder how similar that is to like that Phantom Muspa attack with like behind the crystals and stuff. I wonder how similar that is.
I think it's exactly the same thing.
I'm sorry, Phantom Muspa training you for Inferno, Pog. Sorry, I'll just be a couple.
My slug wears many hats.
So the next wave, wave 48, is going to be one of the more deadlier waves. It's my least favorite wave in the entire Inferno. I've died to wave 48 more than I've died to wave 63. So I'm going to be very vigilant on my solve and make sure I'm not doing any stupid shit. I'm not going to be chasing nibblers if I don't have to. My pillars are healthy enough to be able to solve the wave. And I'm going to do my very best to make sure that I can pray against whatever's attacking me. Right? So if I have two blobs and a melee that can see me, I don't really like that. Because I'm either chancing 48s from the melee or I'm chancing potential double 28s from the blobs if I don't pray against them. So ideally, I'm either going to have only the melee see me, I'm going to have mage or mage and blob so I can one tick flick, or the mage and the melee if I can off tick them. But I'm going to play very careful. If I start taking too much damage, I'm going to be okay to brew. And if I need to bail south for a restack, 1 second, sorry. Sorry, excuse me, my mouth is just getting extremely dry. If I ever need to bail south, I'm going to put on my best tank gear. So like in this case, you would put on your shield, whether it be I have an Elysian. You could use your ward, your crystal shield. You would put on your best tank gear. You would pray mage, in augury, and you would just bail to the south pillar, basically spamming brews as you run there for a restack if anything gets too hairy. But I'm fairly confident I'll be able to make some sort of a solve happen on north pillar. Hopefully.
It would probably be really helpful to demonstrate how to bail the south pillar on one of these waves during this cape. It doesn't have to be on the next one, just like at some point. I think that would probably be helpful.
Yeah. I could probably manage to do something. I'll probably do it on 50, because not really a lot of KO potential.
Sounds good.
And then I am remembering that I do have 2 blowpipe specs in case of an emergency if I need them for the next wave. I'll just turn on rigor, double blowpipe spec something with rigor on, and just hit something until it's dead, if I panic. I am going to take more damage if I stand there and do nothing. So this is a very doable wave. It's okay, I know I'm tanking a blob and a melee. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. I'm just going to turn on rigor here, tank the blob, use my blowpipe specs. I'm going to pray against this blob, wait till it attacks, go around the corner, and kill this one now. When I kill these, yep, the mage is going to come around and see me. I don't want to be in melee distance. I'm going to go back around, and I'm going to, personally, I'm just going to kill this one, because I want these nibblers off my pillar. There's 2 of them on there. I don't want two nibblers on my pillar. It's okay that I'm going to solve this wave potentially twice. Whatever keeps your HP over 0. I'm a very big victim of it. Don't assume things are dead off your XP drop unless you are 100% certain. Cool. I'm just going to kill this mage from the bat tile. In case it respawns a melee and it digs, I'll just, diagonal side step back. If it respawns any blobs, I'm just going to immediately go back behind the pillar, get safe, wait till it restacks, then start my 1-tick flick. Ugh, I'm sorry. I couldn't have had 3 gallons of water today. I had to use the restroom. If anyone has any questions about anything I've said, feel free to ask while I'm AFK. Okay, wonderful. Same thing for the next wave. Like I said, for the last double melee wave, I'm gonna try and have it so either only the meleeers see me. So I caught this fast enough. I was able to corner trap it. This would be very helpful if it was a melee, because obviously I would just be able to kill it with no prayer by just walking north. But as I was saying, for the next wave, I'm going to do the same thing I did for the last double melee wave. I'm going to try my best to only have the melee see me, or only have the mage see me. Like I said, I'm just going to get behind the pillar, let it restack, and now I can start my 1-tick flick. Alternate, 1-tick alternate.
What would you do if you missed a flick here? How do you fix it?
I would camp pre-mage until it attacks me again, and then restart.
See how the mage stayed on the same cycle? He just one tick alternated all the way through the respawn.
But yeah, if I did mess up a flick there, I would either if I can, pre-mage as fast as I can and duck back behind the pillar. B, you could also just camp pre-mage until the mage attacks you again and reset your cycle. So as soon as you see the mage attack again, then you start your one tick alternate range mage, range mage, range mage. I'm also very vigilant not to attack these melees as soon as they dig, because they like to spawn on top of you, and if you right click on them, it'll push you out behind the pillar, and I've died multiple times because the mage sees me when it pushes me out. Also with the melees, obviously they have a huge box that they consume, that they take up, but they are very wiggly wormy boys, so I like to right click to attack them a lot, so I don't accidentally yellow click through them. $216, I know they're dead. Like I said, I either want the melees to see me or the mage to see me. 162, they're both dead. I'm gonna duck behind the pillar and just kill the melee. Spin if I can, Spin or Bob or whoever like wants to commentate and like ask some questions. Tell the questions to me. If I can have you guys do a huge favor, I'm gonna start I'm gonna show how to bail to South Pillar on wave 50. But after that, I'm gonna be on Divine Timer. So if you don't mind, like doing a little bit more explanation of what I'm doing while I'm on Divine Timer.
You got it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'm happy to talk. If any of the GMs or like people who have a couple Inferno KC have anything else to add, like feel free to do so.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be talking a little bit less because my range pot is gonna be ticking down, so I don't want to be wasting it. Is all. All right, so at wave 50 we start with Augury on this Calvino tile. Jesus Christ!
What a spawn!
What a fucking spawn! Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna do something real fast. Okay, before I bail to South Pillar, and like explain how to like off tick these sets like I just did, a very cool safe spot trick you can do that I learned from what's his name, Dear Lola.
Dear Lola.
Yeah, if you have your two NPCs stacked on the west side like this, and you're over here on the east, you can come to this very north tile of the pillar. You can pray against whatever's in the back. So I'll pray against the ranger here, and then I just manually click this tile, and it's gonna save spot and corner trap whatever's in the front. So this is a very kind of cool like safe spot trick or whatever.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah. And then so for bailing South Pillar, obviously I'm going to make sure I have my tank gear on. So I have my shield on. I'm going to pray mage and augury, and I'm literally just gonna run south. And if I need to, I'm just gonna brew. I'm not in chance range, so I didn't need to brew there. And now, instead of being stacked on top of each other, obviously they're side by side or whatever, and the mage can just come down and see me. So it's a little bit easier of a solve. Obviously, I only have like one NPC that I'm getting hit off prey on, so it's a little bit kind of a cop out of a bail south, but essentially that's how you do it. You'll just put your highest defense on, put your prey mage and augury or even piety works, I think, and then just be ready to spam bruise as you little fucking run south.
We don't need to see you get chance to explain how to bail to South. That was totally fine, man.
Yeah. Glancers are indeed chancers. I want to be back on North Pillar to explain the Calvino tile. Alrighty, so wave 50 on, obviously the ranger is going to be out with the mage. These are the most dangerous waves because you're chancing a 48 right off the rip no matter what. So what we do instead of starting on this green tile where we're out in the open and every single spawn basically can see you right at once, we're going to start from this green tile here. This is called the Calvino tile. We are going to do one single attempt at a barrage on the nibblers, and we're going to go instantly to our magic tile. This will guarantee that anything that spawns here is going to be instantly corner trapped, and we'll be able to pray against whatever's over here. So to just give us a little bit extra time to do ourselves and make sure that we're extra safe. Also, we don't want to be taking a 48 off spawn every single time, so we are going to stop using our ancestral rope top or Aram's rope top if that's what you have. We'll want to be in the tankiest gear possible, and we'll be using augury at the start of every wave now. In this situation, obviously, like where I want to barrage and not be at 50 HP, because ideally you're starting every wave from here on out at 90 plus. I'm going to put my rope top back on for mage bonus and barrage up.
You guys are going to see a lot more wave solves with Rigor on. That's not an accident. Like he's going to be doing a lot of like trying to hit something while the wave gets solved, because if he can kill something, that's one less thing to worry about in the wave. And it tends, like a dead NPC can't damage you.
You will also see
so
me
the best
prayer
way to
flicking
keep
a
yourself,
lot less.
the best way to keep yourself safe here is to kill shit. So he's going to duck behind the pillar here to get himself away from the ranger. He's going to kill the mage first so that he doesn't have to off-tick the ranger, and then he's going to go and get those nibblers over there. When the bat gets in range, he's going to kill the bat, because fuck them bats.
It's a fucking huge pipe spec, holy. And yeah, this is gonna be like the biggest difference. I'm on task and potted with max gear, so like the majors are kind of a joke now.
It would have been possible for him to stand in that tile and try to off-tick mages and mage and range at the same time, but this is what your pillar HP is for. Like, he was aggressively chasing nibblers on the first 50 waves so that he can let him nibble a little bit now and keep himself safe. Easy corner trap, one barrage, get into the safe spot, and then he's going to kill this bat here, and then pray mage and go and kill those nibblers, and then he'll get rid of the mage.
This north pillar is my biggest priority to keep safe now. I cannot do the rest of this inferno without this north pillar. Well, you can, but I don't want to. I don't. Yeah. It's the easiest pillar to defend, and it's your most important pillar. If you can defend it, defend it. You'll also see me start sipping a little bit more restore to make sure that I have high prayer at the start of every wave, in case I'm caught in a situation where I need to one tick flick. I can't sip my restore in that, so I want to make sure that I have the prayer that I need before I go into the wave. I'll talk about what I just did there in a second.
It was just a strategic corner trap on the blob, and then once the ranger had dragged in, he's able to let the blob uncorner trap itself because he knows he can off tick these two guys and the mages in T-bow range. Yeah. Yes, you want to, like, you're watching your XP drops and you want to step into melee distance as you get the XP drop that the blob is going to die, because that keeps the bloblets in that triangle formation, which makes your blood barrage more effective. But he's only ever going to send one blood barrage and then switch to his pipe. Go ahead, Quinn, sorry.
So there are going to be two northwest spawns that you can have. You can have one that's like right up here that's actually north of this pillar, and there's another one that's going to be kind of in line with this bottom tile of it. That mage was kind of in line with the bottom tile of it. So what I did was I went to this magic tile and it dragged the major into bow range for me. So I was able to one tick flick these both. If I didn't go here and I clicked on the major, it would have dragged me out and the ranger would have started attacking me. Likewise, if you have an NPC that actually spawns true north up here, this does not work. You have to go behind the pillar to actually drag him into range. Okay. Let us party.
Easy instant corner trap on the range, and then he'll step out right after the mage attacks so that he knows that they're off tick like that, and now he can just kill the thing here. Once this ranger's dead, he's probably going to step around to the east side of the pillar to drag the mage in. He'll just prayer flick against the blob while the mage is dragging in, and then he'll kill the mage so it can't respawn anything.
What's up?
Oh, are you going to go chase your pillar?
Yeah. This fucking thing dead first. I don't want it to respawn the ranger while I'm out there though. Like that.
Why is it worth saving a pillar that only has 10 HP?
Even if it has 1 HP, nibblers can still go down and roll to it. Anything for them to not be on my north pillar.
Right, so in future waves, like having that pillar with a sliver of HP left means that if he gets a bad solve, but the nibblers happen to choose the 1 and 3 to go south, he can just completely ignore the nibblers and focus on solving the wave without his north pillar taking any damage. So there's still a lot of value, even in tiny HP pillars.
Yep. As long as you're not on the pillar that I don't want them to be on, because when the pillar falls and nibblers on it, it's going to kill the nibblers. So I don't have to worry about them anymore anyway.
I'm making an educated guess on how you're gonna solve these waves, so I can like talk about it while you're doing it, but like do your own solve, dude. Like if I say something fucking stupid, you know.
I'm not gonna try and do anything too stupid.
So if I were Quinn here, I would duck around and let the ranger see him for a little bit to drag the blob in, and then off tick the blob and the mage. We can see the value in that low HP pillar already. Like he can just completely ignore those nibblers this wave. Killing the blob down here is also a viable option, just because if the mage happens to respawn something you don't want respawned, now the area north of North Pillar is completely safe for him. So anytime he can just bail back here if he misses a flick or fucks up or whatever.
Yeah, and I'm not worried about my south pillar. It's probably gonna die anyway. So I'm just not gonna chase it. It's not worth me risking my HP for it at this point.
Oh, you got it. Okay. Thanks, honey.
Okay. Even with bats in between the mage and the blob, this is just gonna be the same solve. One tick flicking the mage and sorry the range and the blob from the bat tile.
How would it be different if it was a mage instead of a blob back there?
Well, the mage is gonna see you first before the ranger. This would actually be kind of a fuck spawn if the two bats were in between these.
Yeah, you'd have to go, I think, 2 tiles north and then step out. Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
Can you talk about when you choose to 1-tick alternate versus 2-tick?
So I only really use 2-tick alternating pretty specifically. I try not to use it if I can help it, because I'm not as comfortable with 2-tick flicking as I am with 1-tick. But any situations where you would need to like do an action, like catch a nibbler or something, 2-tick would be a viable option. Because 1-tick alternating, obviously, you don't have any downtime to do an action. You're only sitting there 1-tick flicking, killing something to keep you alive. But I need to set up a 2-tick flick. I need the blob and the NPC to see me on the same tick. I'm going to pause this wave because this is not a good world for me actually. So I'm going to hop worlds after this wave. Seconds of combat.
.56 is a really nasty wave. So he's letting it read range so that he can duck around to get to the mage. If I were in Quinn's position, I would drag that blob in and then kill it so that if the ranger gets respawned here, he has a totally safe area north of North Pillar.
That's exactly what I'm gonna do.
And then he can also blood barrage on the little bloblets here to get some HP back as well. I don't believe it's the first tick it spawns, but it's the second or third tick that the ranger spawns, so it'll be able to attack him. So he doesn't have a lot of reaction time. Being high HP here is really beneficial. I personally find it difficult to fall into a 1-tick alternation pattern right off the bat, so I do a lot of what Quinn just did there, where he steps out praying mage, and then 2 ticks later switches to pray range, and then starts his 1-tick alternation on the second cycle of the mage. Now we're going to drag the blob in so we get that nice bloblet triangle, and that'll let him blood barrage up to 99 HP before the start of the next wave. I'm going to take a second to mention that we're on wave 56 of the Inferno, and all 5 brews are still intact, and he still has, what, like 9 restores left? Blessed. Okay, so his goal right now is going to be to get rid of this mage before that melee can dig. If the melee does happen to dig, there's a couple of things that he could do. He could go to the bat tile right before he thinks it's going to dig and off-tick the mage in range, and then as soon as the melee digs, it's corner-trapped, and he can step out of line of sight of the ranger. He also could go to the green start tile and just pray range while he kills that, the melee.
Thankfully, on task.
he's going to be really careful when he clicks on this melee here. When the melee digs on you and you're north of North Pillar, you always get pushed out to the west of the NPC if it's on top of you. That's really bad because the melee's a big boy, and that can push you into line of sight of everything that's stacked south of North Pillar. If you happen to be praying melee while you do that, it's like the ranger can hit a 45 and the mage can hit a 70. Like you can just insta die. So you have to be super, super careful. Always right click when you attack the mage, or the melee, I mean. And usually it's best practice to wait for it to get in melee distance of you rather than trying to fix it yourself.
These are gonna be off. These are gonna be off ticked automatically.
Can you explain how you knew that those were going to be off ticked?
It's just I learned it through trial and error of knowing like this specific tile and the melee's like walk time. As long as it sees me first tick, which it's always going to. Yeah, the melee will always be off ticked with any NPC that spawns north, whether it's like true north over here, excuse me, or northeast. I want this off my pillar.
What would you have done there if they had been on tick?
I mean, I would have probably just prayed range and like I could have either prayed range and just tanked the melee while I blow pipe it with the rigor on, or I could have walked under the melee to try and off tick them.
Is it true just for the magic tile or for like all the tiles behind the north pillar?
It's only true
all
for this one. If I was one tile further like closer, they would have been same ticked. If I was here, they also would have been off by one tick too though.
But you would have been praying melee and range right after.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, I see.
So the melee's moving at one tile per tick. So like it just needs to travel a specific like there's on its 4 tick cycle there's going to be 3 safe ticks essentially where they're off ticked and 1 where they're not. So one of those 3 tiles is going to be not safe, but the others are going to be safe.
Also keep in mind, Toon, I haven't been doing any crazy prayer flicking or anything, and I dropped a restore and didn't pick it back up and it despawned. And like I'm still chilling on prayer. Like, yes, prayer flicking is important for saving prayer and conserving, but it's definitely not needed. And then obviously like I haven't been going super fast either. Like you don't need to be some god tier 1 tick prayer flicker to do inferno. Like I'm chilling on supplies. It's usually a common misconception is I don't think I can do inferno. I'm not good enough at prayer flicking. I've learned all my 1 tick flicks from doing the inferno.
Yeah, the way it's laid out is like I want to say I find it rather forgiving. Like you can learn a lot in the early waves, and then it just builds in complexity as you go.
I'm gonna pray against the ranger and chase this nibbler. That's unfortunate. Did not expect that to happen. Oh, there's a fucking bat.
Never punished. Oh. Never punished.
Oh, don't do that. I'm sorry. I didn't see the bat. At least my pillar's safe.
You weren't in chance range. That's fine.
No, but that was still stupid. Obviously there's a bat here. Wait, I have to do this from the bat tower, or is it one?
Yeah, I think it's one. I think it's that guy right there. Yeah, and you're gonna step out praying ranged.
Yeah.
So what we're doing here is manipulating line of sight. Go ahead and start, Quinn. I'll start talking after you get it set up. So what we're doing here is manipulating line of sight based on, like, so the monsters can't attack you until their southwest tile has line of sight. The monster all the way in the back is going to have line of sight on the first tick, but the mage who's in the middle is going to have to drag in order to get line of sight, and that's going to always off-tick those guys by 1 tick. Usually, if there's no bat there, you'll start right up against the pillar right there, but because there was an NPC there, if he had started on that tile, they both would have had to drag, and they would have been same ticked. Yeah. Likewise, if Quinn had come out the pillar on the other side, they would have been same ticked as well because both NPCs would have dragged. It's that southwest tile shit again. Sorry, Quinn.
Yeah, that's why I have these 2 tiles marked. Like this is my mage range off tick tile, and then if it was blob mage range, I would come out from this side. That's what these tiles mean.
So he always is going to start preying on the monster that's farthest back because that one's going to have line of sight first, and the one that's closer is going to have to drag. So we're like, it's a built-in off tick on these stacks.
And then this is going to be the start of the 3 hardest waves in the Inferno. Good luck, me.
You got this, bud.
Humble.
So these are now the hardest waves in the Inferno because your solves are on a timer. There's a melee, and then you have mage range and blob. So there's a really good chance that there's going to be 2, if not 3 monsters that are able to see you at the start of every single wave. So he is only going to barrage once ever, and then he's going to turn Rigor on while he kills something. He'll run to the magic tile to let the wave settle, but he's always going to be attacking something because the wave gets easier to solve when you kill something. Now he's waiting for the melee to dig. I imagine he's going to pray melee and tank it. Nope, he's going to off tick. So if this melee happens to dig again, it's going to be automatically corner trapped. That's fucking toxic. He's tanking the blob here, turn on Rigor, and kill the melee. He has 2 pipe specs that he's going to use to keep his HP high. It's really important that he doesn't brew while he's trying to DPS something down because that's going to make it take longer to kill, so he's going to take more damage. So he can't step around the pillar on that side because those things will be same ticked. So he has to bow the blob to be able to kill it. And then I imagine we're going to shoot 1 blood barrage and then T-bow anything that doesn't die from the barrage. So he can pipe this little melee here. And then he can just T-bow the other 2 or send another blood barrage. So we have that range mage stack again, except there's no bat in front of it. So he's going to start in the middle of the pillar here and do that step out again. And he's going to click on the range. He'll pray range first and then mage. If the mage wasn't back, he could just click attack on the mage and it would drag him out and attack at the same time. But because he wants to kill the mage first, he'll step out first, do 1 prayer flick, and then click attack on the mage so that he kills it.
I was waiting for my divine to run out.
These guys are always 1 tick apart, so if you're not comfortable doing this lazy flick like this, you can just 1 tick alternate, and you're not going to take any damage either. If he ever did happen to take any damage here, he could just duck behind the pillar to get himself safe.
From 60 on, I'm going to try my very best to start every wave at 99. So only have a couple more hard waves, and then we get a little cooldown. I still have 2 pillars alive, so no stress.
That's toxic. So he's corner trapping the melee right now. I imagine he's going to uncorner trap the melee and pipe it down and then barrage to save his pillar.
Oh my god.
That's toxic. Okay, melee's corner trap, so now he's just going to off-tick those 2, Rigor to pipe it down. Quinn, you have 2 pipe specs if you need them. And then top priority is going to be saving that north pillar. But he can't do that without killing himself because he can't off-tick all 3 of these mobs at the same time. Now we can save the pillar, and then I imagine he's going to duck around to drag the ranger and the blob in to get the area north of north pillar safe. Are you comfortable with the amount of HP that you have left on your pillars, Quinn?
Yes, very.
Okay, so melee has respawned again, so now we need to figure out what we're going to do in that melee digs. T-bowing it down is actually a really easy way to just manage it.
It can't respawn anymore, so we're happy.
Yeah, so if it had dug, Quinn is standing in a very specific tile that would allow for an instant corner trap. So he would have just corner trapped it, and then prayer flicked the blob and the ranger while he piped down the melee because it can't be respawned again.
That was not a good spawn.
Yeah, that was toxic. Good work, though.
Thanks.
That's why we pay you the big bucks.
You don't pay me shit.
I pay you the same as I pay the rest of my staff.
No way. No way. I'm gonna use. I don't want to. I don't want to fucking 1-tick flick these, so I'm gonna use that cool corner trap that I did, where I'm just gonna pray against the back and run here.
Learn something new out of this. Thank you, Quinn.
I got you, homie. Yeah, I mean that's my whole goal. You know, I'm not the end all be all of Inferno. You know, but I hope.
Can
that,
you do
like,
it again? The corner trap thingy?
Oh, I killed. Yeah. Well, I mean, so if there was 2 NPCs here, like, you know, the ranger was right behind it. I stood on the far north side of the east pillar, and then I just manually clicked on this tile, praying against the back one, and the front thing gets safe spotted. So you're just doing like this little L movement thing or whatever.
We'll start with some L movements.
We'll start with some L movements. But yeah, I don't claim to be, and I know I'm not the end all be all of Inferno, but my whole goal for this is just to show that like you shouldn't be intimidated about going in and trying. Like I have like 17 or 18 capes, and like yeah, like I still get Zuck hands sometimes. Like there's a couple ways where I panic and stuff, but like I hope that everyone here can at least pick up on a couple things that they didn't know before they came here, and also hopefully that I don't die. If I make it past the next 2 waves, chances are I'll get the cape.
Easy off tick.
Can they stop going to my north pillar?
Fucking right? What are you gonna do in the melee digs here?
Fucking go burr on it. Try and fucking barrage this thing. This is me just gonna be playing the lottery, hoping they're off tick, and they will be.
If they were on tick, he would have stepped underneath the melee 1 tick before it targeted its next attack in order to guarantee that they were off tick.
And I'm down bad on HP, so I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna get this ranger to about 1 HP, and then I'm gonna kill the mage. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. I'm gonna get this down to like 1 HP, get the mage down to 1 HP, and then kill the range in hopes that it respawns it, because I want some free HP. I don't know who asked about it, about intentionally making NPCs respawn, but shit. That's the instance where I would have done it.
You can barrage both of those bats still though, and you have 2 pipe specs for the mage if you need them. Like you're gonna be okay on supplies here. Meat sack. See?
I'm killing the bats first because I don't want a. Fuck off. I don't want to stack with bats in the front with the mage again, or with the range again. Now I'm just gonna wait.
Can you demonstrate the instant corner trap with the melee? Like stand on the bat tile, pray mage. Yeah. Yeah, let it dig and then insta corner trap it. Sit.
The bappity. He got safe spotted, dude.
If I ask you to do something particularly risky, like you don't have to listen to me. I'm just.
So next wave of the Inferno is considered the most dangerous, 63. So if I get into a sticky situation, obviously I'm just gonna try and brew out of it and DPS my way out of it. But I'm gonna try my best not to panic. And if I end up getting this mage down to 1 HP and I'm still 81 HP, I'm gonna off of it and just brew, because I really want to be at least 99 HP for 63. And I know I'm okay. That's fine. I know I'm like not potted right now, but I know if I'm gonna brew, I don't want to waste a Bastion dose right now before I brew. Also, I'm saving this 1 dose Bastion for Zuck, if anyone was wondering.
At what point during the Zuck fight are you gonna choose to divine?
At the start.
Okay.
I may as well overheal, because, I mean, I have to restore anyway. And then I only need this pillar for 2 more waves, and they're pretty healthy, so I'm not really concerned about pillar HP still. I'd like them to stop going to my north pillar, but that's just me.
Perks of having a south pillar, man.
What south pillar? This is okay.
That sucks.
This is
that
less.
sucks.
This is less okay now.
That sucks. Okay, so he's tanking 2 blobs. The blobs and the melee both can deal about the same amount of damage, so as long as he's praying against one type of NPC, he's okay. Now he's safe behind North Pillar, so yeah, kill the blob, deal with the bloblets. And then I imagine what he's going to do is get an off tick on the mage and the range, so he can like step out to the west and get them off tick, and then run over to the east. And because they've just attacked, they're still on cooldown. That can drag the blob in, which will let him safely kill the blob and make the area north of North Pillar safe in case the mage happens to respawn the melee again. Right, because that's really the top priority here. He needs to make sure that he's going to be safe if that melee respawns. Quinn's choosing to solve it a different way. I imagine if the melee respawns, he'll just T-bow the melee while keeping up this alternation pattern.
Can I ask you a serious question?
Give me 1 second, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Humble.
Okay, I'm sorry, Rose. What were you gonna say?
Okay, serious question. I'm sorry, but like, what would you have done if the melee had like hit you like a 40 twice or something? You know what I mean?
I had both pipe specs that I was ready to use. I was hovering over my spec bubble, and if it started to out DPS me, I would have just brew pipe, brew pipe, brew pipe until something was dead.
Mm.
That was not a good spawn. Everything spawned north.
Yeah.
That's
And
the
it
kind of
looked like you tried to corner trap the
I
one blob,
did.
but then
Yeah,
like you were late.
I was too late on it. Yeah. Cause I missed my I missed my barrage. I'm pretty sure, and then I mean I just had a little bit of panic there. Like I said, like Zuck hands and stuff. It's okay to get nervous, but we rolled the punches and we solved her. So these are the after you clear 63. These are the cooldown waves where you get double melee, double ranger, double mage, and then you're on to Jad. So chances are, if you clear this wave, you're gonna at least see Jad. That being said, I've died to 65 3 times.
I think I was there for one of those.
This double melee wave is going to be the same as any other double melee wave that we dealt with before. Ideally, I only want one thing seeing me at a time. And this is a very, very good spawn. I'm going to let it stack. I'm going to clear my nibblers, and I'm going to wait for these fucking melees to dig. So, pillar stacked. I'm safe to go get my nibblers now. And I'm going to wait for these melees to dig.
Could you off-tick the range and mage here if you wanted to?
I would... No, they would be same tick no matter what.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Trick question, I see you.
I'm not trying to trick you. Like, but that's like a, I don't know, an interesting situation to consider. So one of them can see him, so he can attack that guy, but he wants to make sure that he's not attacking the guy that's still dancing because it will absolutely push him out so that mage and range see him on the same tick and hit him off prayer.
Yeah, I only get one chance a run, and I already had mine.
Sometimes we just have to wait 3 years for the melee to stop dancing and figure its life out.
And then this is just the same stack that we've seen a bunch of times before. We'll go out from the middle tile to pillar, praying range first, one tick into mage. I don't know if we covered it, but since I want to kill the mage first, I'm going to go out praying range, step out to my bat tile, pray mage, and then attack the mage. So I don't...
Is bat tile safe on that?
Oh,
I don't think it is.
I'm sorry. You're right. I don't know why I said bat tile. When I go straight out, I'll manual click out. I'll pray
Okay.
range, then mage, and then click mage.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure bat tile will untick them.
Yeah, well.
And I'm not concerned if it respawns any melees, because I'll just pray range, go back behind the pillar, and wait for them to dig to me again.
So the next wave is a super, super deadly wave. There's 2 rangers, and he's going to start the wave praying mage. So if he has less than 90 HP at the start of the wave, he can be instantly killed on the first tick of the wave before he even gets a chance to solve it. So it's important when you go into this next wave that you are at least 90 HP, if not overhealed. And then his goal is going to be to separate the mage from the rangers. So he's going to find somewhere where the mage is blocked by a pillar and then drag the rangers in order to keep them separated.
Yeah. So toxic.
What a fucking toxic spawn.
That was not fun. I don't care about pillars anymore. I don't need them for the next wave.
On this
Not even,
specific
not
one,
even
you
the
could
north
have.
one? Like, if they ran to the north one, would you have cared then?
On this
yes,
wave,
yes. As long as my pillar was alive while the mage was here, yeah, I want my pillar alive. But as soon as the mage dies, yeah, I'm not really concerned about the pillar HP, even if it was on the north. I would have done the same thing, even if the nibblers did go to the north pillar. I just wouldn't have been right next to the pillar in case it fell.
On this specific one, you could have also gone to the west of the north pillar and prayed range, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he doesn't need pillars at all anymore. If you watch Inferno Speeds, you'll see a lot of people try to drag the mages southwest tiles right up next to the pillar, because when the pillar falls, it'll deal a bunch of damage to the mages and also kill the nibblers, but not always viable, and he can basically just ignore the nibblers and start in the center of the arena with Prey Mage on.
Mages can respawn each other, so I want to get ideally kill them both very close to each other.
Remember, did you want to log out after triples to explain the Zuck tiles?
I'm gonna do Jad first. I logged out to pause for Jad.
Okay, so Jad is going to spawn on the next wave. It's Inferno Jad, so it hits harder and has bigger stats than Fight Caves Jad, but the mechanics are pretty much the same. The healers are also going to hit a lot harder than Jads do in the Fight Caves. After he kills the single Jad, he's going to do triple Jads, which is the same thing. It's just like one Jad attacking 3 times as fast. And then he'll start the Zuck fight. I got you for timers during the Zuck fight, Quinn.
Thanks. I don't need timers on task, but it's just gonna be good to know how to time. Is the only reason why I'm timing. I'm like, unless something goes really wrong, I will only have one set. You fucking what?
So now that mage has respawned, it can respawn its brother.
Sit, idiot.
Dude, what are you talking about, sit, idiot? Sit down, rat.
Oh. How many sets are considered the usual?
Oh no.
Okay,
Oh, no.
so single Jad is gonna spawn kind of right over here in the northwest. What you're gonna see me do for Jad, I'm gonna run through Jad when healers spawn to heal back off of them. Because if I can heal off of him for free, at the expense of just restore instead of bruise, I'm gonna do that. So, excuse me, I'll kill or I'll proc healers on single Jad. I'll go south after I tag them, or sorry, I'll go west to get them all on me. Then I'll go south to drag them south of Jad. Then I'm gonna be praying against Jad. I'll run through him, pray melee, and then wait for his next attack to pray against that, and then I'll just start barraging on the healers to heal up. Before I send Jad or explain anything further, does anyone have any questions about the waves? Like anything that maybe I didn't explain well enough, or I skipped through too fast too, or anything like that?
Can you talk about how long it took you to go from your first Inferno attempt to your first cape completion? How many attempts did that take? What was the process like?
So I did I did very sporadic Inferno like learners and stuff. I bought my first cape because I just couldn't be bothered to do the content. I thought it was going to be too impossible. I didn't have the time to do the grind or anything, so I bought my first cape. And then after combat achievements got released and such, um, I realized that I wanted to go through GMs, right? That was gonna be my account goal was to get GMs done, and my friend like made me do the realization that how can I ever go for GMs if I didn't know how to do the Inferno. So when I started actually doing the Inferno, it took me about 2 weeks to get my first cape. Um, the entire first week of me practicing the Inferno, I don't think I saw wave 50 a single time. Um, and that was like 2 runs a day or so for about 2 weeks. And yeah, so it took me a long time to get through the waves. Eventually, the second week, something kind of just clicked. I got a lot more comfortable. I had a lot of help from friends who knew how to do the content. I was able to clear the waves pretty consistently. I died to triples once or twice, and then I got my cape on my second Zuck. My first Zuck, I made it to healers, got Zuck balled, and then yeah, I got my cape on the second. But everyone's like experience is going to be different. Some people can get their cape within a week. Some people get their cape in like 2 months. Like
Took me
it
2 months.
it really just depends on like how familiar with the mechanics are, how fast you can pick up on stuff, your ability to be under pressure when multiple things are attacking you, and honestly, it's just having the RNG of having good spawns on your first cape.
One of my attempts where I didn't get my cape, I accidentally clicked the wrong way when the shield started moving and couldn't correct it in time, and I like died 10 seconds into suck. Like sometimes shit just happens. Go ahead, Paul. Sorry.
Is it possible that you could give us milestones, if you will? I know for me personally, whenever I was doing the fire cave, the fire cave for my, I was really sitting there going, man, I just want the completion. But if I were to have really looked at it as I got to Jad and or at different milestones, I probably would have gotten.
Yeah, so definitely some like big wave milestones. Obviously like getting past 15 for the first time. 15 is going to be your first double blob melee. That's actually quite a hard wave, especially for in the speedrun community. There's a whole page on the Discord devoted to wave 15 deaths. So getting past your first like very hard double blob wave, then probably getting to wave 35, seeing the mage for the first time. After that, either 45 when the blob starts coming back out again, or 48 when you have mage blob blob melee. That's another really important milestone. And then obviously like your 50, your 58, and your 61, 60, 61, 62, 63, and then Jad's triples Zuck. So learning the Inferno is a lot more. It's a lot about mental. Like you need a lot of patience to like. It's very frustrating. This was I've been in here for 142 minutes to get to Jad's, and if I die, like, it'll be that's kind of heartbreaking for a learner, like spending that much time during the waves just to die on a part when you're so close. But um, yeah, you just gotta bash your head against the wall, like make whatever milestones that you can set to make it achievable for you.
I'm okay now as asking in chat what tick the damage calculates for Jad's attacks and when he can switch prayers during triples.
Jad's damage is calculated the tick that you see the projectile.
So your prayer needs to be up before then, and as soon as you see the projectile, you can switch your prayer.
Yeah. On triples, yeah, triples is very, very intimidating. What helps a lot of people doing triples for the first time is just calling out the prayers as they happen. So, mage, range, range, mage, mage, range, mage. Um, but you'll learn pretty quickly that triples is very forgiving. You have plenty of time to switch your prayers. Kind of like Spin was saying, you can't really focus about like killing 3 Jads at once. You have to like kind of remember it as just one Jad that attacks 3 times as fast. Um, any other questions like about the waves or anything like that before I mean, I think mostly everyone here has probably killed Jad before, and probably doesn't need to see single Jad, like talk about single Jad too much. Alrighty.
There's another pot brewing on here. So really cool trick outside of running through. If you have a line of healers stacked up against you, you can move a couple tiles north or south, and that'll make them stack up so that only one healer is damaging you. Like that.
I fucked up.
Look at him go. So we're waiting for Jad to attack, and then as soon as his animation is started, he can run straight through. He's less likely to move up and down Quinn if you run through him east to west as opposed to north-south.
Oh, I see. I've always done northwest. I didn't know there was a proper way to do it.
I think I learned that in a Dear Lola video. So it's really important that he prays melee while he's running through Jad, because if you're in melee distance, his attack speed doubles and he's able to melee you right as you come out, and he can melee a 115 as well. So after he's out of melee distance, then he just stops and waits for Jad's first attack to pray against it, and then he's right back. Neat trick you can do here, if you have Jad's southwest tile marked, you can make the healers stack up right next to Jad's southwest tile, and then barrage the healers, and it'll barrage Jad as well.
The Inferno Jad's max hit, it's like 115 or something.
Yeah, it's 115. Which conveniently is exactly what you can brew over heal to.
Alrighty.
So here's triples.
Yeah, so I have the wave paused, but so yeah, triples. Okay. You can kind of. I mean, I would highly recommend killing the south one first. I think that's like the majority of what people do is kill the south one first. And then yeah, it's kind of just gonna be a random direction, whether it goes clockwise or counterclockwise. What they attack, and then I'm just gonna make sure that whenever healers spawn, yes, you can. There's only gonna be 3 healers per Jad on triples, by the way. It's not gonna be 6. So yeah, you can get your Kodai out and barrage them if you want. I find it easier and a lot safer to just like T-bow them, or Bofa if you have that. And I'm just gonna make sure that I'm gonna be praying against the Jad correctly before I do any action. So I'll wait for Jad to attack, pray against, then I'll bow. Wait for Jad to attack, or wait for Jad 2 to attack, pray against it, bow another healer.
One of the other Zuckhelms in chat who's better at Inferno than me told me the Jad's max hit is 113, so if you're fully overbrewed, you're safe.
Okie dokie.
Send it!
Fucking send her, bud.
So the thing that I think helped Quinn learn triples first, and the thing that like really helped it click for me as well, is imagine one Jad that's attacking 3 times as fast. You know how to change prayers for Jad. It's fucking easy. So notice that Quinn's going to be standing in line with Jad's southwest tile. He's doing that on purpose because when healers spawn, anything that spawns to the north is likely to get trapped behind Quinn, so he doesn't have to tag them at all. That makes like for less chance that he's going to fuck it up, like misclicking on a healer and miss a prayer switch. So if he were to move, that healer that's currently aggroed behind him will be able to move forward, but he blocked it with another healer. So now he's only taking damage from one healer and all of them are trapped. And you can see there's tons of time in between prayer flicks here. It's like triples is all nerves and like not wanting to lose an hour and a half worth of progress. But if you can do a fire cape, you can do triples. This shit's easy. Alright, so we're in line with the southwest tile on the second Jad for exactly the same reason. But now it's even easier because he has more time to think in between actions. We trap another healer, and then you don't even have to bother switching to pipe or your Kodai one. You can just straight up T-bow because it's a first cape. Like you don't need to go fast. We don't care what the timer is. Usually, what I'll do on the third Jad here is I'll run through and Blood Barrage up to full because you want to start near full HP for Zuck. Zuck is an interesting creature in that if he hits you, you can't tick eat it, and its max hit is 256. So you're very likely to die first time Zuck hits you.
That being said, it is possible to live it.
It sure is. Did you remember? Did you pause before Zuck, Quinn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Single triple Jad is the most dangerous Jad, by the way.
I've died at least twice to single triple Jad because at this point you're usually you're through the hard part and you're thinking ahead to the Zuck fight, which makes it really easy to miss a prayer flick and get stacked the fuck out. Not a fun way to die.
I know I hit the pause button, but something in me.
All right, time for Zuck.
Alrighty, I will go over my Zuck tiles before I actually start the fight. So yeah, you may have heard me refer to Zuck hands kind of a couple times during the cape. Zuck hands is just referring to like the nerves that you get before Zuck. Zuck is 100% a scripted fight. It'll always be the same, no matter how many times you do it. So technically, Zuck is the easy part. Once you get to Zuck, yeah, you're just fighting nerves at that point. These tiles that I have marked here, these blue tiles are going to be the safe spot tiles that I will attack Zuck from while I'm walking with the shield. So I'm basically only ever going to be firing on these blue tiles and a little bit sometimes in the middle. This dark blue tile that I have here is the extra safe spot that gets added when healers come out. Once you proc healers at 240 HP on Zuck, Zuck's going to start attacking faster. And generally the best rule of thumb for in rage phase is just ignore safe spots, follow the shield. These red tiles that I have marked at the very end, sorry, I'm just trying not to use fucking red energy. These red tiles that I have at the end are for healers. These aren't technically a safe spot for healers, but I will be going all the way into the corner to kill the closest healer to me. Because if I was standing here, two healers would be able to like spread their fucking sparks on me. But in here, it's only the one that I'm fighting.
Can you explain from the beginning how the Zuck fight is going to look? And each of the milestones along the way?
Yeah, of course. So Zuck has whatever 1200 HP, 1100, something like that.
1200.
So Zuck has 1200 HP. Whenever I unpause, I'm going to before I unpause, I'm going to take a brew sip to get to 115. I'm going to take a resource dip, and then I'm going to divine magic pot. Excuse me. And then as soon as I get back in, I'm going to turn rigor on. It's going to go through a cutscene where Zuck comes out of the wall. I'm going to right click on Zuck to get to attack him on the first tick, and then the shield can either go to the left or to the right. But if it goes, no matter which way it goes, if it goes, let's say to the right, this is going to be the range side. By the way, the ranger is going to spawn here in your sets. The major is going to spawn here. If it goes to the range side, I'll just follow it this way. I'll get one bow shot on this tile here. I'll go after he hits. I'll go to this safe spot and hit him over there. Sorry, I'm kind of going through this really fast. Zuck hands. You very important. You only want to be moving safe spots after Zuck attacks. If you're moving before Zuck attacks, you're risking getting whomped.
What tick does Zuck's attack calculate on? What's the animation cue?
I don't know, when the ball comes out.
It's his leg. It's his leg moving forward. Yeah.
Oh yeah. His like knee comes out, doesn't it? Yeah. So if it goes range side first, it's always going to pick one side to go. It's going to make one full rotation, and then your first set's going to spawn, and your 3-minute timer starts. So let's just say it goes range side first here. So it goes to the range corner once, goes all the way to the mage, and I'm still hitting Zuck the entire time. And as soon as it touches the right side again, I'm going to pray range. My timer is going to start. I'm going to attack the range, trying to out DPS it before I get out of its range. I'll tag the mage either when I cross the center line or the ranger's dead to get the NPC off my shield. And then I'm just going to be continuing following the safe spots, killing Zuck until Zuck is under 600 HP and the timer pauses. When the timer pauses, I'm going to keep following my safe spots, killing the Major. When the Major is dead, I will continue to DPS Zuck until it hits 480 HP, in which time the timer adds 1 minute and 45 seconds and Jad spawns. When Jad spawns, you're going to see me do a pretty funky thing with my camera. I'm going to turn my camera completely around so it has Zuck behind me. And then I'm just going to be focusing on making sure I see the ball before I go to the next safe spot and making sure my prayers are correct before I kill Jad. Again, obviously at half HP, Jad's going to summon his healers. I'm going to either equip my Kodai to barrage them, or I'll just manual cast barrage on them to tag them, and then I'll just continue fighting Jad until he's dead. Very big thing: do not barrage Jad healers from the range side corner. It'll drag you out and you will die. But you can barrage them from the mage side corner. You have range over there. After Jad is dead, I'm going to recover and brew up to 115 again. I'll restore, re-range pot, and then I'll get Jad as close to 240 as I can, but not so that it's in my threshold of my max hit. We do that because we want to send healers on a corner so we can tag them as fast as we can while the shield's already moving that direction. We don't want Zuck to heal back up to 700 HP after we just got him to 240. So at 240, it's going to proc healers. I'm going to tag one healer, tag the next, and then go back to the first one because there's a little animation delay where you can't attack it right away. If you try to attack it right away, you risk yellow clicking through it or clicking on it and it drags you out from back behind the pillar and you get one shot. My main priority for the first rotation of healers is to get all the healers off Zuck. They heal Zuck very, very fast. So yeah, as soon as the shield passes one of my healers, I forget about it. I move on to the next one. Always be in front of your shield. You want to be either in line with the front part of your shield that of the direction that's moving, or one tile in front of it.
So you have the whole shield width as a safe zone and 2 tiles in front of it that are safe. So it's always safest to be leading the shield because when you click attack, your character is going to stop moving and the shield starts to catch up with you. If you're even 1 tile behind the shield, you get nailed and GL again from wave 1.
Yeah, do not fall behind the shield. After healers, after I clear all the healers, it's just a race against time at that point, where I'm walking with the shield, I'm ignoring the safe spots, I'm just staying with the shield, attacking Zuck every 5 ticks that I can, and it's just a DPS check at that point. You're racing against your second set spawning. So from when Jad spawns on, that's like, you know, when that timer hits 0, you get another set. That's like your DPS check that you're doing. On task, I probably, unless something goes wrong, I won't get a second set, but you never know.
Do you prefer quiet during the Zuck, or do you want me to talk about what you're doing?
I don't really care.
Okay.
Whatever people want, whatever they think is more helpful.
Fucking send her, bud.
Let me take a sip of water and get rid of these Zuck hands.
Let's click some boss.
That's unfortunate. Whatever. Let's fucking do it.
Easy clear, bud.
Any no sets? Holy shit.
Inferno's easy. Just get no sets. Forehead. Holy shit, you might actually no set this.
Mm-hmm. I'm hitting like a fucking truck right now. Holy shit.
You fucking rat. You're gonna no set this.
Say new PB.
So when he's on the corner tile, he steps into the drag zones there and then clicks attack because it keeps him with the shield. Timer started, Quinn. So there's a Zuck set timer app, Runelight plugin. That's what I'm using to time his set here. It starts at 3.5 minutes and counts down. It'll pause when Zuck gets under 600 HP. So he didn't full kill the ranger there, but he needs to get that major off his shield, because if that shield HP hits 0, he's going to die. He's just going to brew here until he's back in range to be able to pipe the ranger down again. Now he's safe. So now he can get himself back up to full HP, but it's probably safer to click on Zuck again and get Zuck under 600 HP so that this timer pauses. And then he's got all the time in the world. So we're full HP with 2 brews left for healers, which is going to be more than enough to clear the healers.
That was an unfortunate set.
Timer's paused. So now that the timer's paused, he's safe to kill this mage. That's because he's probably going to want to be praying redemption during healers, so not having to pray mage is helpful there. He's being careful to not take Zuck under 480 HP, because that'll spawn Jad right away. We want this mage dead, Quinn to be full HP, near full prayer, and be stammed when he procs Jad. Okay, so now we're just big chilling until he gets Zuck underneath 480 HP. There's Jad, and now the timer restarts. He has 4 minutes and 10 seconds to kill Jad and do healers before the next set spawns. So you can see what we're doing here is he's clicking to the safe spot first, and then prayer flicking Jad, and then he clicks back on Jad to attack it. Healers are tagged, big chillin'. We can run all the way across if you need to, and that gives you plenty of time to change your prayers here. Zuck Jad is all about nerves. Like, this thing attacks super fucking slow. It's no big deal. You have 3.5 minutes, Quinn?
Yeah, buddy.
Alright, so now we're gonna...
May I just hear respawn anything?
No.
Never. Okay.
Good question, though. Alright, so he's going to wait until he gets to the other side before he procs healers, and he's doing this on purpose so that he can pipe the healers right away and stop them from healing Zuck. He's using the time in the interim to get himself all the way back up to full HP, repotted, and stammed. You're going to see him blowpipe walk here in order to tag all of these healers. This is a really important skill if you want to be good at the Inferno. Oops. You're safe, you're fine. So we got all of the healers tagged, and Zuck only healed about 130 HP, it looks like. Now he's just DPSing the healers down. It's really important that you try to brew minimally here. You have pipe specs, you want to use them, because once you start brewing, your stats go down, and all of a sudden you're way less effective on these healers, and you're going to lose the DPS check. The safe spots that he was using prior don't apply anymore because Zuck is attacking faster, so it's just up to Quinn to keep in time with the shield. He's going to be trying to lead the shield so that when he stops to attack, the shield catches up a little bit, but he's still safe. You have 2 minutes and 16 seconds. There's dead tiles in between the safe spots on both sides, so he's going to be super careful to not click attack there. It'll drag him to the center and kill him. You can see that we're just leading the shield here, and even though he was 1 tile ahead of the shield, Zuck still attacks the shield. That would not have been the case if he was behind the shield. Skipped an attack there to stop him from attacking in the dead zone, and now we're back on the boss. 214 HP and 1 minute and 45 seconds to go. So he's going to clear this before he gets a second set.
Hopefully.
Good luck, pet.
For the boys?
For the boys? Sending good RNG?
Maybe we lucky sometimes?
Never lucky.
What do you mean never lucky? You didn't fucking kill it yet.
You not lucky.
What? Fucking die.
Let's go. Nice job, Quinn.
Thanks.
Never lucky.
Okay, so, is there any questions about, like, the Zuck fight? Anything that I was doing that, like, was maybe confusing or I didn't explain good enough while I gear for the second cape?
How normal is it to get more than 1 set on a first cape?
Very normal.
How do you deal with the second one?
You do it the same way, so, like, it kind of depends. Like, yesterday I did an off-task cape where Zuck had under 100 HP, where, when my second set spawned, and I actually ignored my set, where I didn't tag any of them. I just kept on, I kept on killing Zuck. But if Zuck had like a little bit more HP, I would do the same thing. Like that one spawned on the mage side, so I would instantly pre-mage, and I would tag the mage. And then as soon as I get in range of the ranger, still praying mage, I would just keep blowpiping, walking with the shield and killing the range, and then I would just kill Zuck while praying mage with a mage alive if I got a second Zuck, second set, sorry.
2 Zuck challenge. Let's go. I gotta dip out to go to the top learner. Thank you so much for doing this, Quinn. That was really really well done. This is very very educational. Super appreciate you doing this, man.
Yeah.
Does that count as his demonstration of mastery?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't feel required to stay for everything. Obviously, like I'm doing another two capes or whatever. So yeah, don't feel obligated to stay and watch. But yeah, the next one's just gonna be like a more Iron Man friendly setup without like Missouri Tebow. It's gonna be like Crystal and stuff.
Right, I'll try to pop back in for the speed queue. I'm really curious to see that one. But time for top learners.
Good luck at top
Good luck,
learners.
guys.
Okay.
Let's go.
Let's go. This cape is going to be a little bit less explaining and more just kind of me going through the motions. But yeah, please feel free to like unmute and ask if I'm doing anything that you have questions about. While I search for gear.
A little bit of a silly question, but how do you pause the inferno?
So like you just hit log out and it pauses it after you clear the wave, and it'll resume the next wave when you log back in.
But you were able to be in without it, like, resuming. So
yeah, so after you pause the wave, like you can walk around and do whatever, and then it won't resume until you have to log out and log back in to resume it.
But click only once to log out. If you spam it while you're not under attack, you're gonna have to restart the wave if everything isn't dead yet.
Yes, yeah. The fuck is that?
You ever Ancient Maze prayer up?
I've never done it, no. I don't even think I have an ancient mace in my bank. No. I know it's very useful and people like doing it. I personally haven't had a use for it. But, yeah, do it if you need. I'm gonna be taking in one extra brew this time, and no divine.
Bastions are cheating for the iron setup. What the fuck? Yeah. That's what we like to see.
Suffering.
Whoa, where's the ice burst?
The ice burst, no way. Plus 39. Okay. Alrighty.